Hey friends. Okay, apologies for being late. Busy day. But I wanted to pop on and say hello to everybody. Wow, was it a gorgeous day in Miami. It was 92 degrees out. Can you believe that? 92 degrees. With the heat index, I think it felt like 100. That's the kind of weather I like. Hopefully we can keep that up. We'll just jump right into it, everybody. S&P 500 E-mini futures opened up about 8 points. S&P 500 last week trading at new all-time record highs. Congratulations, Team America. The Dow 30, ticker symbol YM, the futures is up about 48 points. Back above 40,000 for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 40,185. Ticker symbol NQ, which is the NASDAQ 100, which also hit a brand new all-time record high last week. It's trading at 18,670. Futures are up about 35 points at the open. Last but not least, we'll check on our favorite crude oil, ticker symbol CL, which is the light crude oil futures contract. We're about flat. Now, what's interesting about crude, we've actually come down quite substantially, which I guess is good news. We're below the 200-day moving average, $79 a barrel for crude, which is quite surprising because we have a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. However, we can kind of reframe this and think about it in a different way. With crude oil not blowing off into the 90s and back to 100, this kind of tells me all of the turmoil in the Middle East and the terrible war that's happening in Ukraine, I think is going to die down. We can only hope, right? We can only hope that things de-escalate, particularly in the Middle East, as well as with the war between Russia and Ukraine. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Check on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we're trading at 66,152. Let's put a 50-day moving average on the chart. Okay, we're still trading above the 50-day moving average. So that's good. Now, last week had a lot of economic data, tons of economic news. We got both the PPI and the CPI. So CPI still confirms that inflation is running hot, way hotter than expectations. April came in at 3.4%. That is the headline number. On a month-over-month basis in April, inflation was up about 0.3%. On a 12-month basis, 3.4%. So 0.3% for the monthly increase, 3.4% for the annual, which is quite concerning. Let me go ahead and close the laptop here. And we'll get started. It's going to be a shorter than normal live stream. I was very busy today. I was yet again in Sunny Isles Beach. You guys have to check out this new development. It is the Turnberry Ocean Club Residences. It's really stunning, but this is actually my favorite building in all of Miami. Well, one of my favorite residential buildings, I should say. This is 1000 Museum. This is a Zaha Hadid building. So oftentimes when we walk in New York City, particularly on the High Line, you'll see that very funky looking building. That is also a Zaha Hadid building, but I think this one's quite unique in downtown Miami. Very close proximity to the Metro Mover, which you can see right over there in the distance. And this is Northeast 10th Street, so one more block and you're at the Kaseya Center, which is where the Miami Heat play. But yeah, a lot of new and exciting things coming to Miami. The Aston Martin Residences is completely finished, which is great. You have the new expansion to the Miami Riverwalk, which I think we went there. I think I took you guys there. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I just got to put something away in my scooter. Put you guys down on the floor. Iguana camera, not the rat camera. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Hey, Joseph Hardaway, I see Gary Carpenter, Lena Sandoval, Zozo Bob, what's going on? DC322 says I'm staying in Miami a little longer. Yeah, a little bit longer, which is actually good news. Alan says, Tommy, going back to New York tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Tuesday. So we will be live back probably from Central Park south on Tuesday. I just have to stay one more day, have to, somebody's flying in, have a little bit of a meeting, and then we'll be back in New York, which I'm actually excited about, by the way, because I looked at the weather forecast for Manhattan, and next week's supposed to be gorgeous. It's supposed to be like 70 degrees in New York City. Hey Chuck, what's going on? I see JK, the one and only Ryan Beck is here. DM, thanks for joining us. Jimmy B says maybe. Lost your comment. Gene says you should check out the progress of the Miami World Center. Apple is building there. I heard that. It's going to be a pretty big place. Maybe we'll check it out today. This is the Paramount Tower, which is great. I spent most of the day today, well, the morning I took some walking tour videos, which I think you guys are really going to enjoy, particularly Sunny Isles Beach. I think the northernmost side of Sunny Isles is really underexplored, and there's a lot of interesting things going on. If you want to just kind of pull this up on Google Maps just for context. So there's really three notable buildings that I'm excited about. Two of which are already built. That's the Kaseya Center over there. So number one, you have the Porsche Design Tower, right? That's in Sunny Isles Beach. Number two, right next to it, you have Jeff Sofer's building, which is the Turnberry Ocean Club and Residences, which is unbelievable. And right next door, they're actually quite literally breaking ground on the building right now. It is going to be the Bentley Residences, which is pretty cool. They've built a model unit, which is on 185th Street, kind of like the sales showroom. So if you actually want to go in there, you could kind of see what an apartment would look like, which is pretty cool. And here we have Leo Messi. Hey, Dominic Romano, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you here. I see JK Anna. The weather is warm. Yeah, we've been having a very unusual heat wave, actually, in Florida. The heat index, it felt over 100 degrees, but it honestly wasn't that bad. I like that kind of weather, and coming from New York, the weather's been really horrible. You know what, Gene? I think, yeah, let's go ahead and check out the Paramount Tower. This is the Kaseya Center. Hey, Ryan Beck. What's going on, sir? Hopefully you're well. Yeah, it's kind of wild, right? We're approaching 50,000 people. It's kind of a little intimidating thinking about how 50,000 people have came across this channel, which I do appreciate, by the way. I do take that seriously, so thank you all for watching and enjoying the live streams. Appreciate it. So let's go ahead, maybe we'll go to Miami-Dade College tonight and we'll check out the Bowl, which is kind of Miami's take on the Mighty Bowl, or the Charging Bowl down on Broadway by the New York Stock Exchange. We have well, it's technically a cryptocurrency bowl. They unveiled it at the 2022, I believe this was now, so long ago, but the 2022 Bitcoin conference at the Miami Beach Convention Center. I went to that, by the way. I had a press pass. It was kind of cool. Got to meet some of the people, met Orlando Bravo, CEO of Thoma Bravo, spoke to Kathy Wood for a little bit. It was cool. But yeah, we now have our own version of the Wall Street Bowl. This is the Paramount Tower. Hey, what's up, RB? This is welcome back. Thank you so much. It's good to be back. I love Miami. I love the city. Now, you know where I spent some time today too? The Bal Harbor shops. And I haven't gone to the second floor or the third floor ever in my life. I went today. That place is just so incredible. If anybody is visiting South Florida and you're in the neighborhood of Bal Harbor or Surfside, you gotta you got to at least spend a half a day or a few hours exploring the Bal Harbor shops. The place is unbelievable. Now, I've been on the first floor, obviously, but I've never actually gone up the escalator, and the place is insane. It was funny, I was passing a construction site in the place, and they're building a brand new Tiffany building, which is incredible because we were talking about that Wall Street Journal article that came out, essentially detailing Bernard Arnault's massive empire he built. Right, so for those of you who don't know, Bernard Arnault is the CEO of LVMH, Moet Hennessy, and they've acquired Tiffany. And they did about $500 million worth of renovations on the Fifth Avenue Tiffany flagship store, and now they're building a crazy flagship here in Bal Harbor, which is cool. Look at this mural right here. Hold on, let me zoom in on this. Is that snow? I think it is, with flamingos. It's so funny. There it is, isn't it? Now, I don't think it's ever snowed in Miami. And also, a little bit of a fun fact, which I just learned this about a year ago. Do you guys know that it's never been over 100 degrees in Miami? It's never been triple digits. It may feel like triple digits, but it's never been triple digits in Miami ever. Which you would totally think the opposite. You would think you're cranking out 100-degree days all the time, but apparently not. I guess it's the humidity. Oh, really? Zozo Bob's, it snowed in Miami in 1977. I couldn't even imagine what that must be like, to watch snow in Miami. That's crazy. Can't even picture that. Hey, what's up, Mark? Thanks for joining us. Sunshine after rain. Sharon is here. It's evening time. Good to see you, Sharon. I think you're starting your job soon, right? Charles Schwab. NBA Elias. Congrats, Tom. Yeah, not at 50K yet. I think we'll get there in due time. But, I mean, you're right. It seemed like we just started the channel 2 days ago. Wow, look at this. It's essentially like they're building a whole new city in downtown Miami. Essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to make Miami more walkable. Because when you think Miami, Florida, the first thing that comes to people's minds is, oh, you're gonna need a car. So if the city really wants to have that sustainability, to have the potential to become a New York, you need to have walkable stuff. You need to have a lot of retail storefront, which they're trying to build, to attract people to live, number one, to live in downtown Miami, but also to quote unquote play in downtown Miami. So to Gene's point, this is the Miami World Center. This is going to be the brand new flagship store for Apple. It's going to be down here. Oh, look at this, it's Equinix. So this is actually a top performing stock. This is a data center company. I actually never knew that they were in downtown Miami. I knew they were in Vegas, but I didn't know they had a data center here. Equinix, very cool. This is the Paramount Tower. Hey Mark, it's Tom. So how do you like it down in Florida? Do you prefer New York or Florida? I prefer Florida when it's winter in New York, and I prefer New York when it's summer in New York. NBA Elias, Tom, will you consider real estate opportunities in the Florida Keys? I don't know. I'd say for me personally, probably not actually, because I feel as if the Keys, even though Florida Keys are gorgeous, I feel as if it's too dependent on tourism. I mean, is there any offices in the Keys? I don't think so. I think it's just a big tourist and hospitality town. And I wouldn't want to own something that's so dependent on one industry. Although, to be fair, you could make the argument that the entire state of Florida is dependent on tourism. I mean, right? And that's kind of the hope, is to have more job opportunities move to Florida, right? In finance, in tech, really in everything, right? That's kind of the goal of, building up Miami, to attract more lucrative job opportunities that you see in cities like New York, Houston, San Francisco, Boston, things like that. Lots of new construction back here, though. It's like you see cranes everywhere. This kind of reminds me of the interview, and you guys should watch this interview. It's really, really good. The CFO of Blackstone, he says, usually every time you see cranes everywhere, that's kind of when you should kind of take a pause and take a step back and see if there's any frothiness in the location. Like, I mean, Blackstone controls a lot of real estate there, giant in private equity. And I think, I don't think Miami is going to get, well, I'll just say this to be blunt. I think Miami is overheated now, but what we're seeing is that the troughs in Miami will be higher than previous peaks, if that makes sense. So if you think about like a chart of the S&P 500, you go up, down, up, down. You may have an intermediate term top in Miami, but I think with all of this job growth, that's real job growth, not fugazi, nonsensical stuff. That's going to attract more people to live down here. And look at all these condos going up. I mean, this is tons and tons of supply coming onto the market, which in a way is good, right? I mean, God forbid somebody could afford a place to live. We want housing prices to come down. I'm sure if anybody here lives in a major city like New York, Boston, Miami, right? Pretty much every major city in America is going through an affordability crisis right now. I'm sure if we took a poll in the chat and asked everybody, did your rent go up or down over the last 3 years? I would probably bet that almost everybody said that their rent went up over the last 2 or 3 years. This is pretty incredible to see, the Miami World Center. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Fernando Flores, is August a good season for visiting Miami? I think it is, but it's also not a good season. So I'll try to explain. It's good because that is the off season for Miami, so it's not going to be so crowded. But it's bad because it's going to be extremely humid. I mean, August is like roasting hot and extremely, extremely humid. I personally like it like that. So if you don't mind the humidity and the heat, I'd say August is fantastic. But just know that August is extremely humid down here. Mariana, Texas, Tom, Houston is getting ridiculous considering the income hasn't changed. Well, Houston, there's a lot of job growth down there too, which I think pushed a lot of the rental pricing up. All right, let's see what's going to be here. It says gather, discover, celebrate. Of course, there's going to be a Starbucks. Of course, there's going to be a Lululemon. Another Lucid Motors. It looks like they're going to make this a mini Brickell City Center, it appears. Yeah, 3 T3s is also peak hurricane season, along with September as well. Hey, Walter, what's up? Good to see you. Now, when we get back to New York, I wanted to bring up a few things. Particularly, I wanted to spend a few minutes, maybe a few hours, talking about China, because I think we need to pay attention here. Let me stand up on this bench so we can have a bird's eye view into the construction site. This actually looks pretty cool. Now, China is starting to ease in terms of monetary conditions in a major way because they have a real estate catastrophe going on over there. So my prediction is as China starts to ease, that's actually going to do wonders for global liquidity. That's like going to be very, very good for global liquidity, but that could actually mean a worse inflation problem in the United States. Because you're going to have looser monetary conditions in China, and you're starting to see a trend where you have capital flight out of China to other countries. So this may be very interesting, and this may be quite positive for US stocks, funny enough. But we'll do a deep dive and we'll talk about that when we're back in New York. Colton Manning, good to see you. Trust you well. Let's explore over here. Now imagine for a second, right? I mean, I couldn't tell you right off the bat how many units are going to be in this building, but let's just say it's a complete sellout, or they're rentals, or they're for lease. I think these are going to be for lease. Even at 50% occupancy, I mean, imagine the foot traffic that's going to be here in downtown Miami. Because right now, if you want to see a lot of foot traffic similar to New York, you have to cross the bridge and go over to Brickell. So it's going to be interesting to kind of do these live streams over the next 2 years, because once all of these new condominiums are complete and there's occupancy, this could get pretty crowded down here. And I don't know how they're going to handle that with the traffic, because the traffic is already horrible in Miami. Looks like they're closing up shop at this restaurant here. Gene Paul says Miami World Center will have 8 or 9 buildings. That's incredible. Oh, check this out, guys. Let's look at some of the renderings that they've posted. This looks like a cool cigar lounge. So this is what it's going to look like. Let's go over and check it out. Wow. So this is going to be that big Apple store, I think, right? So this cube, or rectangle, I'm assuming is that little wood thing that they haven't built yet. And it looks like you have 2 floors of retail. This looks like soccer fields. Oh no, that's just like outdoor dining space. And then you have the Kaseya Center over here. This is actually pretty cool. I may have to do a standalone walking tour tomorrow while this is being constructed, and then merge it with the finished product in 2 to 3 years. This kind of looks like a futuristic, like Abu Dhabi type feel here. I don't know, what do you guys think so far? Oh wow, Richard Toss says, hey Tom, the condo you are next to is called Flow and it's owned by Adam Newman. Oh my God, this is his Flow project? Really? I think Flow is the space he leases. Like that's his new WeWork type project. But I mean, maybe you're right. I don't know if he owns the building. Now, Adam Newman, for those of you who don't know, created WeWork. And WeWork filed for bankruptcy. We've talked about WeWork in depth on this live stream multiple times. But now Adam Newman, which by the way, my opinion of Adam Newman, I think he's probably the greatest sales guy on earth. I mean, if you listen to any of his interviews, he is a master of reframing. So if you want to have a lesson in persuasion and how to reframe a conversation, no need to go to business school. Just watch every single interview that Adam Neumann has done. He is a master of like deflecting and reframing things. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so now I believe he's partnered with Andreessen Horowitz on this brand new venture called Flow, which I don't even really understand what it is. It seems like it's the same exact thing as WeWork, but just built in new living spaces. So I don't know. I mean, I wish him the best, but I think it's a good lesson in persevering through adversity, because if Adam Neumann could, you know, launch WeWork, which is a great product, by the way. I was a paying customer for many years. Oh, look at this. Maple and Ash. It's going to be crazy to see all these new restaurants come in. Anyway, if Adam Neumann can raise billions upon billions upon billions of dollars from investors, particularly SoftBank, lose all that money, have it go to zero, and then have the company file for bankruptcy. Well, first be ousted from the company. Marcelo, who is actually my old boss at Sprint, CEO, former CEO of Sprint, then became executive chairman of SoftBank, ousted by the company, then does the same exact business plan, virtually the same business plan, and is able to raise billions of dollars again, particularly from one of the most notable venture firms, Andreessen Horowitz. I mean, you could do anything. So just continue to persevere, and, you know, don't let failures, you know, keep you back. And it's also a good lesson that just because you've failed at a business venture doesn't mean it's over forever. People will still bet on you and give you money to pursue your opportunities if you have tenacity and you get after it. I think it's a very interesting lesson. Anyway, I'm excited about it. I'll do some more research into the Flow company, but from the little diligence that I've done, it pretty much seems like the same exact thing as WeWork, but residential. Who knows? Hey, New England Crypto, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Oh, this is all over New York City. This Italian restaurant here. This is almost going to be pretty unbelievable. I mean, look at how many restaurants they're going to have here. I hope they can get enough people to come to them. I mean, assuming that all of these condominiums will have their certificate of occupancy and they'll move people in. I would say obviously there's going to be people down here, but I mean, this is going to be an unbelievable transformation. NBA Elias says, Tom, do you think these developments in downtown Miami will draw people away from Miami Beach and Brickell, especially tourists? I don't know, actually. I think everybody has their preference on where they want to live. Like, some people want to be by the water. Like, for me, I don't know. I guess as a New Yorker, I really wouldn't want to live in the city, like downtown Miami or Brickell, because I'm in New York City all day, every day, and I want a little bit of a break, so I choose to live in more of the suburbs. But I guess it's preference, right? People who live in Mid-Beach or Miami Beach probably want to live right on the ocean. But if people are moving here from the Midwest, you know, and they want a city feel, I mean, this is definitely going to be a crazy city vibe. Now, today I was in a town called Mid-Beach, and one of the cool things about Mid-Beach, this is the Citizen Hotel. One of the cool things about Mid-Beach is once you're on, I'm blanking on the name, it's been a long day. What is the name of that road? How could I forget? Indian Creek Drive. Once you're on Indian Creek Drive, there's a walking bridge that will take you directly to this neighborhood called Bayshore. And it's all single-family homes, beautiful homes, and it's 10-minute walking distance to the ocean and 15 minutes from South Beach, all while having the privacy of single family, which is pretty cool. So everybody really has everything they need, all the options and choices here. This development here is called the Elser. You could buy studios up to 4-bedroom apartments, but they all come fully furnished. So they're supposed to be used for pied-à-terres, so you could use it 6 months out of the year, and then it rents out in the hotel pool while you're not using it, which is kind of an interesting concept. And it's right across from the marketplace. This is the Metro Mover station, or the Freedom Tower station. Unfortunately, the Freedom Tower is undergoing a little bit of construction. This is even going to extend all the way down here. This is kind of crazy, right? So now we are going to be on the campus of Miami-Dade College. And last year, I think it was last year, maybe it was 2 years ago now, I went to an amazing event with the CEO and founder of Citadel Securities, Ken Griffin. He was giving a keynote talk at the Miami Economic Club, which I would highly recommend joining, by the way. The Economic Club of Miami. If you're a business leader or you're just working in Miami and you want to be around like-minded people, join us at the Economic Club of Miami. Lots of great events, lots of great guest speakers. Anyway, this was an awesome kind of keynote talk about the decision-making of bringing Citadel from Chicago, Illinois, down here to Miami. There was also a lot of talk about, oh, you have the Metro Mover going by. There was also a lot of talk about just the importance of Latin America to Miami in general. I do feel like they should do a revamp on some of the buildings here at Miami-Dade College. It kind of reminds me of some of the buildings in CUNY. I mean, maybe they are doing some renovations because you can see everything boarded up here. Yeah, they're probably getting ready to demo it. I don't know, but I feel like they need to do a huge revamp. KT says, I bet there are a lot of Cuban and Haitian migrants there. There are, yeah, huge Cuban population. This is the Miami Culinary Institute. I want to show you guys the Miami Bowl. This thing is really cool. All right, here we are, Miami-Dade College. You can kind of see the bowl illuminating. It has blue eyes tonight. Usually they have the ticker tape for the stocks going around the side. They don't have it on tonight, which is unfortunate. Usually right here they have the ticker tape. Oh, look at that. Artificial Intelligence Center. I could have sworn the last time we were here this was a cybersecurity center. Well, that's cool. It's good that they're investing in tech, the necessary stuff to study. So this is the Artificial Intelligence Center at Miami-Dade College. Now, one of my good buddies was just giving a talk here, Peter Saddington. You could check him out, really smart guy. He was giving a talk at Miami-Dade College about Bitcoin and blockchain. So check him out. Really good guy, super smart. Peter Saddington. Here's the Cybersecurity Center. You know, these are like great programs. Really, really great programs. Cybersecurity Center of the Americas. I mean, if I was young all over again, college age, that's probably what I would study or major in, cybersecurity. Speaking of cybersecurity, tomorrow we're going to hear from Palo Alto Networks. This is the Financial Technology and Trading Lab. This banner here is where they usually have the stock tickers going across. All right, now how many here are new to the Miami live streams and have not seen the Miami version of the Wall Street Bull? Is there anybody here who has not seen it yet? DB5er says, hey Tom, are you highly proficient in math? What do you define as highly proficient? I think I'm okay at math. I would say I'm above average in basic math, like accounting. What about you? Looks fierce, that thing. So this is the relatively new Miami Bowl that was officially unveiled, I believe, at the 2022 cryptocurrency conference in Miami Beach. And it's supposed to resemble like a tech bowl, because that's kind of Miami's claim to fame now, is that they're a very tech focused city. So it's a mechanical bowl, I guess. What do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down on the mechanical bowl for Miami? It's probably too dark to see the details, but this thing does look like a transformer, like quite literally. I kind of like how they didn't try to copy New York and how they made their own thing. I think the Bronze Bowl is like very classic upscale New York City. This is more futuristic. Marketing videographies, did the eyes change color? I think so. I think the entire body style changes color periodically. DB5er says, I would say calculus is where math begins, algebra is fun, accounting is kind of simple, roll input. Then I would say I'm very proficient in the basic business math, like accounting stuff. trying to remember what kind of math I took in college. I did some like statistics stuff, but I also did some interesting math courses because I went to a criminal justice school. I went to John Jay College of Criminal Justice. So I took a forensic accounting class, which was interesting. It was kind of like real life scenarios of tracking money laundering, accounting patterns, like a lot of pattern recognition, that stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a math, I would say I'm actually pretty bad at math, but when it comes to business accounting, like basic stuff, I'd say I'm probably good. If that makes sense. Which is really good news for people who are not smart like me, because to be good in business and the investment world, you just need to be very proficient in basic math. You know, learn how to, you know, essentially balance a balance sheet, learn how to read an income statement. Hey, Surfboard, thank you so much for your very generous $10 donation. This is, hey Tom, hope all is well. How's the house? House is doing good, and the Clusia have absolutely exploded. I'd say the Clusia are probably about 8 feet tall now, which is pretty cool. Hopefully you can make your way down here to your place. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. Hey, Adam says, I'm a cyber guy and pattern recognition is second nature to me. Yeah, that was probably, it was a fun course. It was like, you can kind of look it was a very specific school I went to. Like a lot of kids that graduate John Jay, they work for like the federal government, or they go work for a bank in like fraud prevention, things like that. This is the College Bayside station of the Metro Mover. I feel like a lot of this stuff is newer. Like we haven't been down the side streets. This should take us right outside 50 Biscayne. But yeah, we'll see. That's one that we're going to be covering tomorrow, Palo Alto Networks. Ticker symbol PANW. Now, I used to sell cybersecurity software and solutions. And the big thing now is vendors really want consolidation. Or I should say businesses want consolidation. They don't want to have to go to more than, let's say, 3 or 4 individual companies to purchase different solutions in their tech stack. They want to be able to go to Palo Alto Networks or, you know, name your cybersecurity company and have a one-stop shop for all of those solutions. That's why what's really big now is the platformization of cybersecurity. So you have your EMITET protection, you know, you have your zero trust technology, identity and access management, or IAM cybersecurity. And that's why, you know, as I've been covering the sector, that's why I think you're starting to see leadership in the sector. I would say the top 3 companies, and you could look at the stock price to kind of corroborate the data: Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, and probably CyberArk, or Zscaler, I should say, are probably the top 3. Because those have the best shot at building out a robust platform to offer their customers those solutions. Like if you look at an Okta, right, ticker symbol OKTA, they specialize in a very specific type of cyber, which is identity and access management, IAM cybersecurity. So they compete with Ping Identity, ticker symbol PING. It's no longer publicly traded. Funny enough, we're standing in Miami. This is where the new headquarters of Thoma Bravo is. They moved their headquarters from San Francisco to Miami, Florida, and Thoma Bravo took Ping Identity private. And they also just bought another cybersecurity company called Darktrace. Anyway, this is the Waldorf Astoria Residences showroom. Now, the Waldorf Astoria is going to be the tallest residential tower south of New York City. The thing is going to be absolutely insane. And I believe they finished the foundation on it, which should be right over here. All right, I think we've got some time before the battery runs out. We'll see if we can see the foundation over the fence. But we've mentioned this before. There's an interesting concept called soil mixing. So a challenge in downtown Miami, or in Florida in general, is we don't really have bedrock here. It's all very porous limestone. So it can't support the weight of these super tall buildings. So there's a new engineering technology called soil mixing that allows for the foundation. Hold on, let me just, I'll show you guys. Let me know in the chat if you could see the foundation over the fence. Let me see. Could you guys see anything over there? It's too tall for me to see, so hopefully you could see at least some of it. But you should see a massive, massive hole with all rebar sticking up. And essentially what they did is when they had those big pylons and they were drilling the holes into the ground, they used these special drill bits that have a concrete have like little holes for concrete, and as they're drilling down, it's mixing the soil with concrete, so it creates this really, really strong supportive base that will allow to build these super tall towers. So this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be these boxes stacked on top of one another. This is going to be the building right here. Crazy, right? So for some context, this is where we started the live stream. This is 1000 Museum. And this is the Kaseya Center right here. Or, excuse me, right here. This is the Kaseya Center. And then now we're standing here where the brand new Waldorf Astoria Residences is going to be. Pretty cool. So it's going to be the tallest residential tower south of New York. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. Also, if you like these conversations about the financial markets, real estate, and the like, feel free to sign up for our free investing newsletter. We send it out every other Thursday, and we will be sending out the next issue this Thursday, right as the stock market closes. So if you scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, you'll be signed up to receive our Behind the Street newsletter. That is our Substack. Man, this is going to look crazy once it's all done. It's unfortunate for this building that's going to have all of their views obstructed. I mean, that building has some pretty insane views overlooking the Bayside Marketplace. But now, I mean, it's going to be totally obstructed. Speaking of the Bayside Marketplace, you might as well take a look at it now. Oh, nice. New England Crypto, you have a new mining rig set up. Fantastic. Love that. All right, our battery is gonna blow out here in a minute, but I wanna take you guys to Pier 5, so hopefully the battery will hold out as we make our way to Pier 5. We'll see. So now we're walking towards Bayside Marketplace. The Paramount Tower says Dale Marlins. What does that mean? Let's go Marlins? Oh, it's baseball, right? I totally forgot that Miami had a baseball team. It's a cool view. Yeah, I heard about that. The brand new tallest building is going to be in Oklahoma. I don't understand that logic, but I don't know. For me, there's no point in building that high if there's nothing to see. If anything, it'd be more desirable on the lower floors, I would say. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? If the whole point of trying to be up high is you get better views. But if there's nothing to see, I don't know. Now, if you're buying an apartment along Central Park, sometimes it's nice to buy an apartment just right above the tree line. So not super, super tall, but just right above the tree line. It's like an incredible feeling. It feels like you're floating on the park. It's insane. Hi everybody, here is Pier 5. This is all brand new too. Wow, I was not expecting there to be a lot of people on Sunday night, but there seems to be a lot of people here at Pier 5. Everybody, I think we'll call it a night here. The phone is going to die. But if you enjoyed the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you all right back here tomorrow at 8:30 p.m.